going to continue on with our gift in a jar series with what I think is one of the more clever cookie mixes. This is a hot cocoa cookie mix. It is actually made with instant hot cocoa mix. What you need to start is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half cup of packed brown sugar, 1 cup of instant hot cocoa mix, a half cup of, I am recommending miniature chocolate chips, and then our flavors and leaveners. So we have a teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda and a half teaspoon of salt. You're going to be giving this gift with approximately a dozen. I do put about 4 extra in here. Regular size marshmallows. When your recipient is going to make this, they're going to add a stick of butter, an egg, some vanilla extract, and they'll be instructed to cut these each in half across the middle so that they can pop these into the warm cookie before they finish baking. So you're also going to need your printable gift tag that's going to tell your recipient how to prepare these, some ribbon, and maybe a gift bag, however you want to decorate this up before you give it. Like always, we're going to give this a start. We're going to put it all together in a quart-sized jar, but as I said before, you don't need to put this in a jar at all. You can put this in a cellophane bag that's been lined with a Ziploc bag. You can put this in a tin. You can put this in a number of things, a recycled jar. You can even find on Amazon some plastic quart containers. So to our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, we're going to add our baking powder, baking soda, and salt, and give this a good whisk. Then we're going to pop this into our quart jar. And then, as always, I recommend, if you've watched any of my other gift in a jar recipes, you know what comes next. We're going to tap, tap, tap very rapidly on the countertop so that our flour mixture becomes settled and compacted to make room for the rest of the ingredients. So here we go. Next goes our hot cocoa mix. Again, wrap this down on the counter so it levels and compacts. And then our brown sugar, and as usual, we're going to go ahead and tamp this down in there so it's going to seal all of our layers together. Just like so. And now your layers are not going to go anywhere. The only thing you have left to do, we're going to pop some of these chocolate chips right on the top, and there'll be plenty of room for them in there. Perfection! Now all we have to do is pop our lid on. And there's our hot cocoa cookie mix in a jar. All we have left to do is decorate this up. Well, there you have it. Our hot cocoa cookie mix in our jar, all ready to give, along with our bag of marshmallows that the recipient's going to use to pop into a warm cookie, and then they're going to put it back in the oven for a short period of time. Don't worry, all the instructions are on this little card that I've given you, and that will be attached to the download for the recipe. These are really sweet, and I don't mean that they're like super sweet. They have a really lovely flavor, and that marshmallow just softens up in the oven. Look at that pull. Oh my gosh. And it's got a really beautiful crumb to it. It's a little bit chewy and a little bit soft, but this is a delicious cookie, and I just know you're gonna love it. Today we're going to be making some lemon crinkle cookie mix, but we're going to go the cake mix cookie route. You guys have seen me make cake mix cookies before. They're super versatile, they're really easy, and cake mixes usually go on sale for about $1 a piece this time of year. So a cake mix, as you've heard me say many times, is nothing more than a box of pre-measured ingredients, and they really do take the edge off. They're really budget friendly, and they help make quick work of gifts in a jar or a bag or a box or a tin. So with that in mind, this lemon crinkle cookie mix is just perfect. It's got a little bit of additional tartness added in there, and we're gonna put some white chocolate chips in, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. We're gonna start off with a quart jar, and that's what we've been making all of our gifts in a jar mixes in, but as I've said before, you can put this in just about any container you like. We're gonna start off with 1 cake mix. This is a lemon cake mix today. I am using Duncan Hines Lemon Supreme Cake Mix. The Duncan Hines brand, as many of you know if you've been with me for any length of time, that Duncan Hines is my preferred cake mix whenever I use a cake mix. We're going to add half a cup of all-purpose flour, and we're going to add 2 teaspoons of True Lemon crystallized lemon juice, and that looks like this. I buy it in this big container. I'll link it on the Amazon page if you want to see about getting it. If you can't find crystallized lemon juice, They usually sell it in the same aisle as the sweeteners and the sugar in your grocery store. But if you can't find it and you have some country time lemonade mix or some sort of lemonade drink mix, you can just go ahead and use a couple teaspoons of that. It will substitute in just fine. We're also going to add a cup of white chocolate chips. This is going to make this cookie really decadent and delicious. And because they're crinkle cookies, those cookie dough balls are going to have to be rolled in powdered sugar in order to attain the crinkle cookie appearance. So we're going to toss in a cup of confectioner's sugar that I have already placed in a little cellophane bag and tied with a pretty bow. You're also going to need your preparation cards, which you will find attached to the recipe download, and you can print these out on cardstock, cut them apart, and then tie them on to whatever packaging you're giving this gift in. You're also going to need some pretty ribbon to decorate with. Okay, so now we're just going to mix this all up, and we're just going to add our cake mix into our mixing bowl along with the flour. Now, a lot of cake mix cookies you find, they are not going to tell you to add this flour. I'm going to tell you to add this flour. I find cake mix cookie recipes to be very, very sticky dough, and I like them to have a little more substance to them. If they're too sticky, they spread too much and they become very unpleasant, and you're not going to enjoy that. So this little addition of half a cup of flour is really going to make the biggest difference. We're going to put in our lemon juice crystals or our lemonade drink mix powder and go ahead and just mix that up. And next we're just going to put our flour cake mix mixture into our quart jar. Okay, you know what comes next. Because we need to make sure we have enough room for our 1 cup of white chocolate chips, we have to tap, tap, tap very rapidly on our countertop to make room for the remaining ingredients. So here we go. Now we have enough room for our white chocolate chips. Just like that. I knew I could do it. On with the lid, and now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna decorate this and get it ready for giving. Well, there you have it. Our lemon crinkle cake mix cookies all ready for gift giving. This is a beautiful jar. It's got a little bit of color in there because the cake mix is obviously lemon. You can take this a number of places. So you can use your imagination. If you leave out the lemon juice powder, you can do chocolate, double chocolate, triple chocolate, chocolate with white chocolate. You could use a yellow cake mix and make birthday cake cookies or confetti cookies. Really, the combinations are gonna be, the measurements are gonna be all the same. A box of cake mix, a half a cup of flour, and then whatever add-ins you're gonna add, a cup of chips of some sort. And then the crinkle cookies require the powdered sugar, but not all of the cookies will. So keep that in mind. This recipe is gonna make approximately 2 dozen cookies, and I think it's perfect for a holiday gift or really an anytime gift. So what you're going to start off with is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. Make sure they're old-fashioned, not instant or quick. Half a cup each of packed brown sugar and granulated sugar, 1 cup of butterscotch morsels, and optional half cup of chopped pecans. We're also going to be using our flavors and leavenings today, 1 teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt. So you're also going to need your gift tag that you're going to attach to your bag, box, or jar. That's going to tell the recipient how to prepare these once you give it to them. And that will be attached to the recipe that you'll be able to download and print out. So we're going to get started building our jar. Now I want to make it very clear, you guys don't have to use a jar. You can use a large cellophane bag. You can use a recycled jar that you've cleaned and completely dried and spray painted or sponge painted or chalk painted the lid. You can use a tin or a box or a cute plastic container from the dollar store. It doesn't matter. These are going to be received so nicely. It doesn't matter how you present them. I'm simply calling them gifts in a jar for ease. And I know that we're currently living in a time when sometimes jars and lids to jars and stuff can be at a premium. I understand if you don't want to use those, but we have other options here. So to get started, we're going to add our leavening, salt, and cinnamon into our flour, and we're going to just give this a good whisk. Then we're going to put the flour in the bottom of our jar. Once you get your flour on in there, you know what to do. If you've watched any of my other gift in a jar videos, we're going to tap, tap, tap very rapidly on the counter to level and compact the flour mixture to make room for all of our other ingredients. Perfect. Next, we're going to go ahead and pour our oats right on in there. Again, give this a good tap, tap, tap to settle everything. Next up, our granulated sugar, and just go ahead and give that a little shake and a gentle tap. That settles down pretty quick. And then the last thing we're putting in the jar is our brown sugar. And again, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that we're going to tamp this in, and the brown sugar is going to be the last ingredient that goes in because it's going to seal all the other ingredients into the jar and help them stay in their nice, beautiful layers. See what I mean? Now you can shake that jar and nothing is going to move. That brown sugar on top is the secret to keeping your gifts in a jar beautiful. On goes the lid. And you're going to say, but wait, we still have butterscotch chips and pecans that have to be dealt with. And you would be correct. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put those in a cello bag. And I'm even going to use this canning funnel. I'm going to put half of the butterscotch chips in there. Then I'm going to put the pecans in there, and then I'm going to put the rest of the chips on the top. And this just gives you a nice little packet. Give it a twist, tie it up, and you'll give this right along with the jar. I'm going to make a beautiful presentation. You can go ahead and pop these right into a really cute craft gift bag that you've decorated yourself, or however you want to do it. Now, personally, I don't like it when there's too much of this going on, so I just cut that right off. Now we're just going to decorate up our jar, put on our tag, and we'll be ready to give. Today we're going to tackle another cookie mix in a jar, and this one is going to blow your mind a little, I think. Today we're going to make a mix for peanut butter cookies, and you're going to be able to do a traditional crosshatch peanut butter cookie, or you're going to be able to do one of Rick's favorites, which is peanut butter blossoms. And you know what they look like. They look like this, right? So the peanut butter traditional cookies have that crosshatch fork pattern in them, and then the peanut butter blossoms, you insert a chocolate kiss right after they come out of the oven, and everybody's happy. We have all the things we need here. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a half a cup of packed brown sugar. I have a half a cup of granulated sugar, and a half a cup of peanut butter powder. This is found right where the peanut butter is found in your grocery store. It's just freeze-dried peanut butter powder, and a lot of people, like, we use it for protein shakes and different things, but I thought we could totally use this in a peanut butter cookie mix. We're also going to use a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And then, of course, if you want them to be able to make the blossoms, you're going to need to include the chocolate kisses, and you're going to need some ribbon, a quart-sized mason jar, and your printable tags. And there will be a link down below to the recipe, and the printable tags will also be included in that download. And now we're going to go ahead and build our jar. The first thing we have to do is take our flour, and we're going to mix our leavening, which is the baking powder and baking soda, and we're going to mix the salt in there as well. Give this a bit of a whisk. And now you're just going to put the flour mixture in the bottom of your 1-quart jar. Just like always, we're going to go ahead and tap, tap, tap on the counter until we level everything out and everything is nice and compacted in there. Okay, next up is peanut butter powder. We're just going to pop that right in there. And then I'm going to get my tart tamper in here, and I'm going to tamp this down really well. The peanut butter powder also likes to stick to the side of the jar, so you might want to get a little spatula and go ahead and just remove it from the sides. Now we're going to go in with our granulated sugar. Again, leveling that out. And our brown sugar, which is packed brown sugar. And we're going to go ahead and give this a tamp down as well. And that is all that is required here. However, if you like, you can actually fill this void in your jar with some of these kisses. And there you have it. That is peanut butter cookie mix in a jar. If you don't want to use chocolate kisses, you can use M&Ms or Reese's Pieces or just chocolate chips.
Peanut butter cups.
You could use those mini peanut butter cups they actually have in the baking aisle. They're unwrapped and they're ready to go. So it's up to you. Now all we have to do is decorate up our jar. And then you can give this, you can tie the chocolate kisses onto the jar if you'd like, or you can just put this in a cute little gift bag and everybody is just gonna love this gift. I just know it. Well, there you have it. Our peanut butter cookie mix gift in a jar, all ready to go, ready for you to make and enjoy this holiday season. You're lucky this time because I had to do some R&D, research and development, because I wanted to make sure that this was going to work for you guys, and sure enough, it does work. All your recipient is going to have to add here are 2 sticks of softened butter, 1 egg, and a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. Everything is ready to go in the jar for them other than that. And like I said, you can turn this into, you know, a peanut butter cup cookie. You can turn it into a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie. You can turn it into a peanut butter M&M cookie. It's completely up to you. You don't have to give the chocolate kisses. You can do whatever you want. I hope you give us a try sometime soon, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.